Hello, everyone. My name is Terania, Dr. Cherry's wife. Now, you may have heard of my husband on Coast to Coast with George Norrie so many times. You've read our Cosmic Code newsletters, you've watched his television and radio shows, and you've acknowledged his uncanny ability to unarguably predict the future. Over the years, you might have read his bestseller book, Moon Power, and I'm sure you were prepared well before anyone about the 9/11 terrorist attacks in New York, in England, and in India. Yes, he also has fully predicted both Asian tsunamis and gave the exact dates for Hurricane Katrina and all major natural disasters well before CNN ever mentioned this dramatic news. Yes, he also has predicted what would happen to the U.S. economy months ahead of the time that the Arab Spring and on the Art Bell show as well. Back in 1991, when he also predicted a worldwide religious war. All of his shows and the dated printed and published process in his books make all of his predictions totally unarguable and available to anyone. What else do we have to prove to you? We need your help to bring back the spirit to humanity and cosmic consciousness to this world. Please become a sponsor. Be part of one of the greatest 2012 spiritual movements to acknowledge, understand, and translate God's will through the Cosmic Code. Thank you. And now, my husband, Dr. Cherry.
Hello everybody. Well, Joanna and I, we decided to do this new taping today on YouTube because a lot of people have questions about my methodology, the difference between mundane modern astrology and divine astrology, or what I call astropsychology. Some people are visual. This means a video will work better than just read my newsletters. And as you know, I'm a prolific writer. I write all the time. My mission to free humanity from fear and ignorance is a very, very difficult task. We are all coming from the stars. We are all children of those stars. In fact, there would be no life at all. There would be no humanity without the stars. So that's where it all starts. And anything under those stars is, of course, under the jurisdictions of those stars. At the very precise moment you reintegrate yourself on this dense physical world, on Earth, oh hell, trust me, you ain't gonna go to hell. This is it. This is how God set the system to be. This is a big, huge school where humans have to learn the hard way with pain and suffering. As soon as you take your first breath and the doctor cut the umbilical cord that connects you with the warm uterine life of your mother, you died. You died to your mother's life, because you cannot be born unless you die. And at very precise moment, a smack on your bottom, and you sign your first impression to the supraconscious, where you integrate yourself with the spirit into that little body that is doomed to go back to dirt, if you're lucky, 80, 90 years later, with a lot of wisdom. Because the only thing you're going to take with you is the amount of wisdom. You're going to bring this back to God. You're going to bring it back to you. Because remember, in the Bible it is said, you have been made in the image of God. This means you like it or not, you know it or not, you have inherited the essence of the Creator. That's why I constantly tell people and my students, my friends and my clients, don't feed evil, because the future is nothing else than the reincarnation of the thoughts. I even made a little video, a 4 short minute video, explaining my philosophy about the supraconscious in time and space and how to make a good use of its creative forces. Now remember, your subconscious will not rationalize with you. Your subconscious does not know the difference between what's right and what's wrong. Pretty much like God creating an earthquake and killing innocent babies. Now humanity has not yet acknowledged this incredible creative power coming from the cosmic code and the superconscious in time and space. Yes, I'm a little bit ahead of time. That's me. So what you have behind me is called an astrological chart. But before I go into explaining a little bit of the housing system, I want to make sure you understand that I do not practice astrology per se. I practice astropsychology. I even developed a software, a very specific software that points out the location of the dragon and so forth. So my methodology, my explanation, my teaching, my consultation have nothing to do whatsoever with the astrology you read, the horoscope you read, you've learned or you teach or you follow and trust. Be aware you are into the world of divine astrology. And I am the only leading astrophile since Nostradamus practicing this very rare 16th century methodology. Now, there are 4 signs. There are 4 energy that are extraordinarily powerful that I teach all my students to look for. And again, to become a student and build up cosmic consciousness, you'll have to be with me for at least 6 or 7 hours a day, for at least a full week. Then you'll be able to build your cosmic consciousness and get the reflex. You could also take the course by mail, don't get me wrong, and do it at your own pace. Those 4 energies are the location of your natal dragon, your hidden dragon, the moon, and the handling of the superconscious. These are 4 elements that makes the base, the pyramids of being able to bring about to yourself emotional, financial, and spiritual stability. Looking at a chart now, you have 12 signs of the zodiac. We always start with Aries, because Aries represents the head. And we end up with Pisces. And on the medical aspect of my work, Pisces with your feet. Aries the head, Taurus the neck, Gemini the lungs and the arms, Cancer your stomach, Leo the heart, Virgo your digestive tract, Libra your kidneys, Scorpio the reproductive area, Sagittarius the low back, Capricorn your joint and your knees, Aquarius the nervous system and the lower legs, and of course going down to the world of Pisces. Now, that is on the medical aspect of my work, which I have different charts, of course, when I teach. But those 12 signs represent nothing else than the 12 hours of the day, the 12 months of the year, the 12 apostles, the 12 saints, the 12 jury, the 12 tribe of Israel, the 12 notes of music, the year 2012. So there is a very, very specific relationship between the 12 signs of the zodiac and the 12 apostle inner message. Now, those 12 houses control a very specific department of your life. Each human being has 12 specific areas of a life, which is controlled by a sign or the planets that control the signs. And that can get very difficult and very complicated. And that's why I'm being objective in educating you on the housing system, or at least giving you the base of the housing system. Now, this brings me to bring to your attention that if you go to drcherry.com and scroll down at the bottom, and you will click on the link where you will see all the popes of all time being taught astrology by the Vatican Council, investigating the sign of Scorpio. This is all in my website, okay? So you have to understand that the reason why the politically oriented churches of the day use astrology, why the Illuminati don't want you to know about the metaphysical force and the secret of the cosmic code, is because knowledge is power and ignorance is evil. Power means your option to reach emotional, financial, and spiritual stability. Let's go further down the line now. You probably heard of those 3 kings following stars. Now use common sense. There were no turbocharged camel 2,000 years ago that would allow those 3 kings to follow the stars. Use common sense. The only way you can follow a star is when it is plotted in a map. So those 3 kings, those 3 wise men, they were nothing less, nothing more than astrologers. Very wise men who knew a superhuman called Jesus was going to be born under a very specific, unique celestial identity and would lead the world for the next 2,000 years, which is through the age of Pisces. Now, those 3 kings did not come just there, witness Jesus' birth and give him some chocolate and took off. No, don't be fooled. They stayed with Jesus. They educated Jesus. They raised Jesus' cosmic consciousness so he could bring to us the reality of our Father in the heavens. But that is too much knowledge for you. Who are the peasants, the ants, the worker, victimized by those who have power and use this wisdom every single day? Don't touch it. Don't talk to Dr. Cherry. If you do, you're going to go to hell. Remember, you're already in hell, in your ignorance, in your fear, in your educated box, in your skepticism, your atheism, being agnostic, refusing to be curious, to enter a road that will lead you to an incredible voyage towards cosmic consciousness. Don't be that way. Challenge yourself. Remember, when people make you think, you will love these people. But when they really make you think like I do, then you're going to start to hate me. Because I force you outside, I challenge you outside of what you have accepted as reality, outside of what you've been poisoned with since you were a child. Not only you, your parents, your grandparents, and since the last 2,000 years. We are moving into a very different energy. Oh, wait a minute here. Time are changing really, really fast. So you are going to be forced, you like it or not, by people that are ahead of time. I'm one of those. And millions of other light workers out there that are as gifted as me. You are going to be forced to think out of your box and to realize that what cannot be seen doesn't mean does not exist. Because you do not see the other side of my hand, doesn't mean it doesn't exist. If you go shopping today and decide to go and buy some food, buy some perfume, and you see the red light in the street and the stop sign in the street, you better stop. You must respect the laws of man, period. But because no one taught you of the laws of the divine, or no one raised your cosmic consciousness, it doesn't mean those laws do not exist, and they are as rigid as the physical world. Remember, up and down, black and white, the front, the back, God, devil, yin and yang, male, female. Remember, those 2 forces constantly at work. You must respect the laws written by men. But God never came down and wrote no books. He never wrote the Bible. He never wrote the Quran. He never wrote anything whatsoever. He enslaved you to aim for his light. This is why it is said in the Bible, I talk to you, you won't hear me. I present myself to you, you won't see me. You must raise your cosmic consciousness in order to understand the face and the tools of a God you don't know. I am going to bring back the true mission, the true ministry of Jesus to this world. It has been cast aside. It has been manipulated, altered, changed to benefit people who do not want you to gain the power they own and will die before they give it to you. Now, when I do a reading, no one's allowed to talk, at least for the introduction, because I'm getting into a zone, a mode. It's part of my gift and my curse, where I have to first tell you, please listen. Listen, because all the questions you have will be answered, and I have much more answers than you have questions anyway. So don't shut down the flow of my intuition and my channeling at the beginning. You have all the time in the world to talk once I'm done with the introduction. Okay? And everything is always taped. Because if I send you 2 or 4 years into the future and I give you specific month and specific predictions, I want you to do like everybody else in 2 or 3 or 4 years down the line and says, oh my gosh, Dr. Cherry, you were right. That brings me to mention to you, how many of the psychics, famous psychics, astrologers, medium that you know, will put the green where the mouth is like Dr. Cherry is. How many of these famous people go every single day, put predictions for 2 or 3 weeks, a year ahead of time, like I do? How many do you know? Use common sense that put the green where the mouth is. There's only one, Dr. Cherry. How can I remain humble and at the same time prove my values to you without exposing the facts? There's no other way for me to tell you. Yes, on Coast to Coast with George Noory, I give the exact date to Katrina. Yes, a year before I predict the 9/11. Oh, it's an inside job. Oh my gosh. Without cosmic consciousness, there is only room for imagination, illusion, religion, conspiracy theory, and scientific explanations. No. It is not an inside job. It's written in the stars, and I saw it a year before. As much as I said to Art Bell in 1991 to be ready for a religious war in the United States and the Middle East. That was well before America invaded Iraq and well before Osama bin Laden became enemy number 1 of the United States. But when I write a newsletter and I give you a link, you have to click. You have to do your mental gymnastics. You have to watch the values and proof of my claims. If you try to lead a very productive life without cosmic consciousness, you will never succeed. Period. 99.09% of the people walking on earth don't have cosmic consciousness. And this includes your politician, your president, your scientist, the police. Your educational system is measurably failing because all this is pseudoscience. What about me sending email to NASA and USGS prior to earthquake well above 7.0? What about those emails dated, printed, published predictions on radio and television repetitively? Why science? Why the scientific community is not giving me a chance Because the fact is, we have been giving trillions of dollars to those organizations. When is the last time they give you either a location or a very precise timing for an earthquake? Well, they never did and they never will. I did, all free of taxes. And that should be appreciated. And I did it in the past, and I will do it again and again and again. If you want predictions, if you want proof of predictions, be my guest. I have much more than what you can handle. And then you have people that are born with a low inferior UCI. The UCI stands for Unique Celestial Identity. Like Mr. James Randi, all these skeptics. My gosh, I went to their website, I emailed them, I did everything that I could with them, and they just removed me completely. Oh my gosh, let's get away from this guy, he's too real. That's why I have challenged James Randi to talk to me on radio or television, and I double his $1 million if he can prove me wrong. Long story, I hope somebody will take on the challenge. You bring these men and Dr. Cherry together, and then we're going to see at the end if being skeptic is bringing anything to the world. There are very, very specific reasons why Mr. James Randi is the way he is. Of course, he is unconscious of it, pretty much like everybody else watching right here, right now. But the beauty is to accept it and to work with me so I can raise your awareness and understand the dynamics and the face and the tools of God as He intended us to use. Yes, the stars in the heavens were created for more than the sake of beauty. God created the stars in the heavens to be used as signs so that you may live a more productive and safer life. Being born in Aries, or in April, in the constellation of Aries, means you are controlled and ruled by the planet of war, Mars. Mars, the red planet of war, the same color than the blood of humans. Mars, or Aries, has produced Hitler, Saddam Hussein, born in April. This sign rules Germany. Van Braun was born with the head of the dragon in Aries. Aries, Germany, war, aggressivity, red, fire, machinery, bullets, war. The energy of Mars is very easy to assimilate. And that's why the ancients, the three wise men, when they were teaching the stars in Jesus' time, they carved into clay tablet the ram to represent man's stupidity, running away from each other's, unable to find a common march, and then bang, and then do it again, hey, and hate each other, and hurt each other, and kill each other. Mars, in Greek mythology, the Lord of War, rules Germany. So it was so easy for Hitler, born in April, to bring the white German people and turn this country into the biggest war machine ever. And in the process, millions of people lost their precious life. Aries rules aggressivity, and you can see the intonation in the German language. Let me even act to show you the energy of Mars, aggressivity, war, fire, machinery, Germany, Mercedes, the shuttle, and my gosh, these energies are so powerful, and it's so easy to recognize if you're willing to take a chance on Mars. Whatever your Mars is in your chart, if you're a male, this is how you are going to show your masculinity. How are you going to show you're a male? If you're a female, this is how you're going to appreciate a man masculinity. The type of man you're looking for, ladies. The location of your Mars in the chart dictate that, and not only did it dictate it, it will break it to you, because a magnet will attract a piece of wood. It's all preset into the universal code. Mars. Well, let's go to France now, and Italy, because I'm not French and not Italian. Now, France is ruled and controlled by Leo. Leo is ruled by the sun. The sun is love and light, and children, creativity, and the stage. If you're born in August, like President Obama, Schwarzenegger, if you're born in August, like Michael Jackson, Madonna, you're already set to be on stage. It's not because these people are better than you. It's because they are commanded by God Himself to own the stage. They are Leo under the power of the sun. Now, is that why we say French are romantic? Is that why the French language sounds so magnetic? And why France and Italy are countries of arts? Big difference between and je vous aime beaucoup, messieurs et madame. Vous êtes bien gentils, vous faites ma journée aujourd'hui. See the difference between the warm, loving sun energy and the rush, army-like sound of Mars or Eris? Because those planets controls countries too. Do you actually think what's happening in the Middle East today, with all the Muslim world going completely insane, is an accident? No, they are no accident. Only cosmic circumstances that are not yet hid or used, understood by science and humanity at large. That's why I'm here, trying to educate you. Let's talk about the Middle East. The Middle East is under the jurisdictions of Pisces. Pisces, ruled by Neptune, the lord of deception, illusion, confinement, church, synagogue, asylum, pot, drinking, addiction. The planet of deception rules the Middle East. How can you try to talk to a fish when he's stuck on his tank? This fish sees his world, his elusive, deceiving world as reality, where everything is based upon illusion, faith, and spiritual poisoning for centuries. But wait. You have to remember, the Arabs, the Middle East, is the first of the first ever area in the world who taught astrology. Look at the flag of the Muslims, the stars and the moon. Look at the oldest relics ever found in Israel, the mosaic of a fish under the oldest church ever, the sign of Pisces. But remember what I said earlier, up and down, black and white, the front, the back. You have two fishes. You have one that swims upstream. Einstein, Michelangelo, George Washington, Dr. Cherry, aiming towards the face and the tools of God and the divine, realizing our godly nature with our fears, guilt, and insecurity, aiming to right as God's in training on this dense physical world, with an incredible potential to create and be anything and everything we want to be. Or the negative fish swimming downstream, following one of the 875 different religions you may have signed your soul, Joel Osteen, and the millions of people that are following him down the current, where all you have been given is hope, is faith, is good words, is illusion, is deception. Tell me one single book, would it be the Bible, the Quran, the Torah, that give you a phenomenal, unarguable translation of the face and the tools of God, preparing you for earthquake, describing, interpreting the energy every single day of the year? None of these books does this. They are archaic, they're repetitive, they put you in a state of mind of euphoria and reality, because Neptune rules deception. But at the same time, Neptune rules also imagination. Without Neptune, there is no music, there is no dancing, there is no spirituality, there is no subconscious. You have to understand the values, the best manifestation, not only of Neptune, but all the rest of the celestial family. But you also need to understand the negative manifestation of the planet. And if you don't have cosmic consciousness, you're going to be mauled to death like all the Muslims in the Middle East and part of Asia that are on the rulership over and control by Neptune, making them robots of the stars. This is very, very serious. Wherever you have your Neptune or your Pisces in your chart, this is where you're going to lose all objectivity, all critical thinking, where you are very vulnerable, where you are prone to addiction and deception. Remember, two fishes. One is positive and the other one is negative. But why is it so difficult to grasp this? Well, look at the salmon in the river, okay? The current endlessly goes that way. But the current is not just pure water here. Dirt, mud, deception, manipulation, control of information, abuse. The water is loaded with dirt, rocks, branches, trees. It's easy for all the followers of Joel Osteen to go with the current. It's so easy because this does not involve to work, to understand the face and the tools of God. You just go with faith. You just say amen. And you put a face and you make millions. Well, those who give you those millions don't have the money to even pay for their mortgage. Where is logic? It's easy to go with the current, with all the masses. But because everything that you have been taught has been accepted for reality, it doesn't mean it is. That's where you got to go the other way. Whoa, like a little salmon. See, the current's not going to stop for you 24/7. You're going to be brought back by the people who don't have cosmic consciousness, by those who think they're going to go to hell by feeding evil and fears. They want you to go back into this current of illusion and deception and manipulation. You got to go upstream, and if you have falls, even if it's the Niagara Falls, you still have to go up. This is why it is so incredibly difficult for me to bring all the people from one level to another level. I do not deny God. I understand and believe in Jesus as much as you do. What I do not understand is that you cannot comprehend that his ministry has been completely messed up. Because then, 2,000 years ago, you didn't have the internet. People were ignorant, illiterate. This wisdom could not be passed to everybody. But wait a minute here. Time has changed. You've got to get up now the other way and get what you deserve. You've got to ask in order to receive. For if you don't, you're going to be going deeper and deeper. And those who bring you deeper and deeper are going to get richer and richer. Wake up to the power of Neptune and the sign of Pisces. It takes 2,000 years for one planet to affect the world. This world has been under the jurisdiction of Neptune for 2,000 years and created a multitude of religion which has produced more death than all the natural disasters, disease and plagues and wars combined together. Look what's happening in the Middle East right now in the name of misinformation, lack of education, fears. Look. But in 1945, through the higher order of God and the eternal jurisdictions of the cosmic code, the age of Pisces, as of December 22nd, 2012, is dead. And The new age of Aquarius, technology, building GPS, the internet, the future of humanity, the reality of extraterrestrial. This new age is burgeoning, it's just started. And this new age will produce a universal religion based upon your understanding of your human fellow being outside of yourself. You're not going to judge somebody because of your 5 limited human senses. No, you're going to get out of yourself. You're going to be able to see, perceive, and feel like someone else. Something that is incredible, feasible if you get the right education and raise your cosmic consciousness. You cannot take all the religion of the world and give astrology in 1 minute. No, the process is already taking place. Where all the religions of the past, the values, the beauty, the essence, the wisdom, the rarity of love involving every single religion will be now used in a very different way through a universal religion where everybody will be able to see the face and the tools of God. They're not going to judge you because you're born in the Middle East, because you're black, you're yellow, or you're white, or because you follow a specific discipline. Separatism is what produced the problems. We are moving towards unification in every single area. It may start obviously with one world government, but ultimately the age of Aquarius is humanitarian in nature and will bring his own religion and his signature for the future of humanity. That might also mean the interaction of extraterrestrial to make you aware of other things you're not just yet ready for. My gosh, there are so much things you do not know. And I'm trying so much and so hard to educate you in the process. Scorpio, the most powerful sign of the zodiac. Wherever Scorpio is in your chart, death, drama, the police, sex will be imposed upon your life. Wherever you have your Scorpio in your chart, you have a constant regeneration taking place. If you do not regenerate on that specific house by signs, you'll die and you have no idea of how it works. Instead, you trust your traditionally educated psychologists and psychiatrists to fix your head with poisonous drugs, antidepressant, that can only accelerate my prediction of a mass suicide. Yes, the Army and the Navy are squashing their educated head. Oh my gosh, what happened to our kids? What's going on? They're killing themselves. Because those children, first of all, should not be there. They went on that specific direction, or the tail of the dragon, the negative area of the chart, because maybe they trusted Uncle Sam, to take care of their peons, to educate them and to trouble the world. They don't know better. And the psychiatrists and psychologists have passed every one of them to be sane. Look, they're killing themselves non-stop. Somebody is right, somebody is wrong. That kids needs constant regeneration. And the psychiatrists and psychologists and our educational field and our scientific community are totally blind. Scorpio is what is currently since August 30th, 2012, in charge. This sign and this dragon is in charge of the world for the next 16 to 17 months. Scorpio was dirty laundry, secret, everything under the table. And you wonder why your politicians are digging into the worst of the worst they can find to kill the opposition before it can even start. And you wonder why secrets are put all the way up into the lights. It's just the beginning. And you wonder why people are emotional and wanted to kill everybody. Remember, in the eternal battle between emotions and logic or reason, emotion always wins and you always lose. Now is that plutonic, intense, powerful energy coming from the cosmic code. Oh my gosh, you have no idea of what this energy can do, because it's sign death, rebirth, drama. It's unarguable. That very scorpionic energy is in charge of the police force, the FBI and the CIA. This is why a year ago I wrote that the FBI would be caught doing something stupid with prostitution. Well ahead of CNN, in my books, on radio, on television. It is so important to understand the impact of this dragon. What is the dragon, Dr. Cherry? What is the dragon? Yeah. That's what the dragon is. By the way, all this, you see that? These are my books. Some of them. The dragon, here it is. That's the dragon. 525 pages of explanation of what the dragon is all about. Why Hitler was Hitler and did what he did. Why Dahmer ate people. Why Nostradamus was Nostradamus. Why the very famous and infamous people did what they did. Because of the dragon. The dragon is an energy that is not yet understood. Maybe if I use that example, you have the word lunatic, moody and crabby. In time of a full moon, the emergency department going crazy, people are losing it. Well, it is an energy coming from the constellation of Draco. It's an energy that you're going to put your hand on, like the sun going through the window, and the window is not broken, but you feel the sun behind it. There are things you can't explain because it is not a physical matter. I am coming from the archetypal realm of consciousness. I'm not coming from the logical, rational plane. Coming from the high spheres. Bear with me. Look, 525 pages. That should be mandatory for every responsible mother to know who has a child, to make sure this child will ride at the head and not the tail. Because regardless of the amount of money, effort, education you put on your tail of the dragon, at the end, if you succeed, you can get killed. While the head of the dragon will give you everything for free. You're going to be at the right time, at the right place. No one has written about the dragon intensively, but Dr. Cherry, and have yet to write about the hidden dragon. You see, it's all about education. Knowledge is power. Ignorance is evil. Wherever the Scorpio is in your chart, let's say for example, you're a Taurus. Okay. Well, house 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. This dragon is on your 7th house. The 7th house deals with partnerships, contract, marriage, anything to do with legality and the way you face the world. Because the dragon is in here, in the sign of Scorpio, if you are a Taurus and you are happily married, so be it. You're going to get a new partner that's going to help you in your career. But if you are with the wrong partner, Mr. Dragon's head in Scorpio is going to kill your relationship. Why am I so sure? Why? Because I got married when the head of the dragon was in my 7th house of marriage, and 12 years later, that's the cycle. 12 years later, I got divorced when the tail was in the marriage area. Do you realize the importance of this information? Now, I just gave out my 2012 moon power and 2012 Nostradamus Dragon forecast for free. Because yes, you have to give in order to receive. I'm the most unselfish man in the world. Constantly blessed, or cursed, whatever you want to call it, to help you to grow to a higher level of perception. Go and get those books and read how the dragon will affect you personally in those houses. I'm offering you for free. Why? Because the 2013 will be out soon. And when you read my work, there'll be no washy-washy, no wondering if you should get the other book. You will get both the 2013 Moon Power, Universal Guidance and Daily Predictions, and you will get the 2013 Nostradamus Personal Dragon Forecast. That's why I give it for you for free. To us, you can still have a few months, so that is where you can check and realize Dr. Cherry is the real thing. And you're not listening to me today by accident, my dear friend. You're not. You have placed a wish. Remember what I told you earlier? Your future is nothing else than the reincarnation of your thoughts. God put you on the path, on my path, or me on your path. No accident. You have asked for some questions, I have the answers. The worst thing that you can do now is to shut down the motion and move away from that. Because there's millions, billions of people doing what I do. The question is, do they post their predictions and the result that most of the time, 99% of the time, to be honest and to be truthful, come to pass? And again, I'm not saying this on an egocentric point of view. I have to make my point. I have to prove my claim. If the dragon is on your second house of money, well, chances are the way you handle your finances has to change. You may lose your job. Oh, you're going to get depressed and you're going to cry. No, 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 no. You have formulated a wish. You want more money. You're not happy with those jerks at the office or doing the job you're doing. You're not being respected. So the dragon, or God, the cosmic code, the force, whatever you want to call it, Allah, Buddha, Muhammad, whatever, heard you. And the change already taking place. So what happened to you is actually a blessing in disguise. But don't you think it'd be better if you were informed and let me find out for you what's for you for the next 4 years? We talked about Mars, the planet of war and aggressivity. If Mars is on your 7th house of marriage, chances are you're going to have a lot of fight with your boyfriend, your girlfriend, your wife, your sister, your brother, your mother. Wherever Venus is, remember that's where the goddess of love and beauty will give you magnetism, friendship, diplomacy, savoir-faire, artistical values. You need to know where that Venus is in your chart. Mercury. Mercury regulates the type of thinking you were born with. If your Mercury in Capricorn is in Capricorn, which holds the politics, you will never ever be able to really enter the archetypal realm of consciousness because your mental process is so rational, so logic. Now you become to the agnostic, to the atheist, to the scientist. You belong to this crowd which are not allowed at the current state of evolution in this specific reincarnation to enter the divine. And they're going to have a lot of problems to deal with the intuitional domain of my work. Mercury in Capricorn produces politicians. He produces engineers. And we need people to make very safe bridges and build fantastic, reliable gearboxes. As much as we need people that are spiritual and artistic. Mercury represents your critical thinking. If your Mercury is in the sign of Taurus, all you're going to be thinking about is money, 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 working in a bank. And if you were born with the tail of the dragon in the sign of Taurus, which is the sign chosen subconsciously by Merrill Lynch Corporation and the banking industry, then you're going to become the next Madoff. You're going to go in jail, you're going to lose all the money because you're too greedy, and you're even going to lose your son. The tail of the dragon in the sign of Taurus. Well, this is part 1. Are you ready for part 2? I hope so. Talk to you later.